Hello and welcome to Copytraders Club, where you can learn how to make more money copy trading. I am Gavin Macaulay, my name and username on eToro. Like you, I copy trade, and together we can learn from others how to do it better and have some fun. Here we go! Episode 5 of Copytraders Club. I hope you enjoyed the 2 recent chit-chat episodes as much as I did making them. If that's the shape of things to come for Copytraders Club, then I'm feeling pretty good about that and looking forward to the conversations that lie ahead. The next 6 chit-chats will be a mix of YouTubers, PIs, and hopefully a copy trader or 2. It seems that I'm settling into a system of 1 regular episode, such as this one, followed by 2 conversation episodes. That may be how we proceed, or maybe just the initial plan, so I can get lots of strong content out early on and prove to you, listener, that this is a resource of value. Early feedback has been very encouraging, and I appreciate all the good wishes and support that I've received from those who want to see this podcast in existence and doing well. The early episodes seem to have acted as proof of concept to some future guests who were, reasonably enough, not too keen to commit until they had some assurance of the quality of the show. That too is heartening. So in this episode, I'm going to give you some of my main takeaways from the recent eToro video content I have been watching. This is all stuff in the public domain, and I will leave links to it all in the show notes. So I'm just musing here on what was discussed on those videos. As usual, there are 3 parts. Part 1, eToro's Yoni, Assia and Sam Rudnick are in conversation with 4 high-profile PIs. Part 2, Yoni Assia's appearance on US TV shows discussing eToro going public. And part 3, so what difference does it make? eToro is going public in the US. What is next? Part 1, eToro's discussion with 4 leading PIs on YouTube. This video came out last month on YouTube, and I found it very interesting. I'm still learning about eToro, of course, so this exercise was quite informative in getting to listen to the CEO speak. For those of you who don't know Yoni Assia, he's a 40-year-old Israeli guy. Very smiley, friendly demeanour, unlike some of the other young robot CEOs you see around. A quick look at his bio and you can see he started his portfolio mid-2012, and his first 3 annual stats are all negative. So he's obviously completely clueless. I jest. He has had some amazing years, and I will hazard a guess that not too much of his net worth is in his eToro account. His portfolio is enormous, showcasing just about everything that eToro offers, as you probably should be doing in your role as CEO. Currently, 2/3 of what he owns is in 2 positions, I note, Bitcoin and Ethereum. I also note he does say, "Don't do what I do." His feed seems to be just full of people giving him abuse. Of course, I doubt he ever reads any of that. So, on this video, Yoni makes various points about how things are going with eToro and the retail investing world. Listener, I have 3 questions for you. The average age of an eToro user is 36. I thought it would be younger. The average 2020 return from PIs of the Elite Pro level was 57%. The average 2020 return for all PIs was 51%. 2020 has all been about the rise of the retail investor. Their involvement, or should I say, our involvement, in the markets has gone from 10% not long ago to 30%. Now, why is that? Yoni explains there's a number of factors. Retail investors are becoming more active than passive. Lower barriers to entry. The trading of fractional shares. And zero and negative interest rates making parking money in bank accounts pointless. All these things are combining to create this generational shift in what people are doing with their cash. After Yoni makes all these points, the PIs get involved in the conversation, and they are as follows. Alan Michael Mullins, aka lojikfool, an Englishman in Singapore, on eToro since 2018. Olivier Danvel, a Frenchman in France, on eToro since January 2017. Heloise Greeff, aka RubyMza, a South African in the UK, on eToro since June 2016. Mariano Pardo, an Argentinian in Germany, on eToro since 2013. So that's an interesting lineup, bit of a cross-section, with an elder statesman, couple of long-term eTorians, and the top female PI. I think it's fair to say that Mariano and Olivier are among the highest profile PIs. Mariano has a long and meaty track record of profit making. Olivier Danvel is billed more as a protector of capital, although some argue he does not live up to his name, as in Danvel by name, but a quick glance at his stats and you can see he has not Danvel in recent months. Kudos to eToro for their loyalty to their PIs. From their point of view, anyone with 3.4 million followers on the platform, as Olivier has, is to be cherished. So, fair enough, I suppose. I can see why they want to show that the platform can also be a place to find PIs who are considered a safe pair of hands. The best bit of the conversation for me was when Sam Rudnick asked each of the PIs to describe some important things for a copier to look out for in a PI. Here is what each PI said. Mick Mullins said, number 1, portfolio mechanics, including no shorting, no leveraging. Number 2, stock selection. What is the PI's area of expertise? Number 3, mental discipline. The PI can resist the urge to overtrade and stick to their stated plan. Those all sound like good points, but each warrants further discussion to get to the meat of what he means, and how we, as copy traders, can practically apply those safeguards. I would like to get Mick on to discuss this, among other things. He is the elder statesman in this panel and has seen some serious combat action in the market, so I'm sure he has some stories to tell and wisdom to impart. Plus, I'm already getting a bit sick of guests telling me they were born in the 1990s. And Mick is one of the few eTorians I see who is older than me. Heloise agreed with Mick's points, adding, copy traders should ensure that they have matched goals with their PI, for example, risk appetite. If there's an imbalance either way, by which she means if the copier has a lower risk tolerance than the PI, or vice versa, then the copier is not going to enjoy the ride. Diversify with exposure to different instruments. You have to get to know the person, she added, which is obviously very true. I hope we can get to know Heloise. I don't know much about her, but from what I've seen, she's clearly very intelligent and capable. I imagine she gets tired of always being labelled one of the top female PIs. She's one of the top PIs. She says you have to get to know them so you can be comfortable they're making the right decisions with the money you're investing with them. That is certainly a view that is shared by those who frequent Copytraders Club. Mariano then agrees with all he has heard so far and adds, a long-term track record is very important. Remember, he is the one who's been on eToro since October 2013, so he would say that. So would I if I was in his shoes. But he has a very good record, and a very long one. He seems a very energetic, bubbly personality. Olivier is next up, and he lists certain PI behaviours to be wary of. Overtrading, like Mick said, not having money management rules, and misuse of leverage. As a currency trader, Olivier does use leverage, but suggests that in the wrong hands it can be a dangerous tool. So some very interesting points there, many of which raise more questions than they answer. Obviously, I would be delighted to have any of these guys on the show to expand on those points and give us practical, actionable advice. They all bring something different to the table. So if any should chance upon this episode and fancy it, then please drop me a quick hello, bonjour, hola. Coming up in part 2, eToro going public. Part 2, eToro going public. As I am sure you know by now, gentle listener, eToro has announced they are going public in a $10 billion SPAC deal. SPAC is spelled SPAC and stands for Special Purpose Acquisition Company, basically an already listed shell into which eToro merges. Betsy Cohen, the chairman of FinTech who owned the SPAC, was asked how it was that eToro was recently talking about a $5 billion IPO and now it has jumped to a $10 billion SPAC deal. I will leave a link in the show notes to the YouTube video that I'm referring to here. She pointed to the viral growth of eToro in 2020 being proof of the acceleration of the product's acceptance. This is clearly a very significant moment in the story of eToro, and a moment of personal triumph for Yoni Assia, who just can't stop grinning from ear to ear in the interviews I watched. Must be good to be him right now. This is his baby, a little sapling he planted and has been tending to obsessively for years, is now bearing fruit. How sweet that must taste. Of course, there have been some problems with the speed of growth and having the infrastructure to cope with it. But if you zoom out and look at the big picture, I think anyone can see that eToro is really going places. To the US mostly. Yoni confirms that, having received their FINRA approval, Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, they plan to launch stock trading in the USA in the second half of 2021. Currently, eToro is in the US only for cryptos, so they will be adding this key element in 2021. It's not 100% clear to me whether this includes the copy trading feature. Assuming it does, eToro will be introducing their copy trading service to the US market in 2021. That leads me on to what is coming up in part 3. What difference does it make? Hey, hope you're enjoying today's show. I'm sure you've subscribed already. If you're a successful copy trader, happy to share what you've learned. There's no need to have a public profile. Please get in touch. Otherwise, listener, the bigger the club, the better for you. So tell people on eToro about this show. Ask your PIs to come on. That way you will get to know them better. We build this club together. Part 3. What difference does it make? eToro has 20 million users from over 100 different countries. So what if they become active in one more? Yoni is asked to give some information about the growth opportunities that lie ahead, and he discussed growth as a trading platform for stocks and cryptos, and how blockchain technology is causing a paradigm shift in the financial services industry. That latter point is a whole new, fascinating discussion. But what about copy trading? What role is copy trading going to play when it comes to the USA? A big one, I suspect. Americans love a hero. It's a culture where the cult of personality is strong. They love being part of a team, whether in politics, religion, or sports. They love to get behind their guys and gals. I think the concept might go down very well. Anyone who has spent time on YouTube looking for investing-related content knows only too well that it is awash with young investing guru types. Some of the most slappable faces on the internet, if you ask me. But these young 20-something guys have massive followings. Here are some subscriber numbers. Ryan Scribner, 700,000. Nate O'Brien, 1.02 million. Andre Zick, 1.38 million. Meet Kevin, I'd rather not, but 1.47 million. And Graham Stefan, 3 million. Whether these gurus who are making a fortune from YouTube and selling whatever it is they sell would be prepared to walk the talk, I don't know. I can foresee a movement where people demand such types to have a public portfolio so they can demonstrate their investing chops and not simply make clickbait videos with screaming Kevin from Home Alone thumbnails. If Graham Stefan announced to his subscribers that he now has an eToro account and you can copy him for more or less for free, he would instantly become one of the most copied PIs. Even a 1% uptake from his subscriber base would put him in J-Nemesis territory. Imagine he got 5% uptake. That's 150,000 copiers. I don't know what the reality is in terms of the competition for eToro in the US and whether rival platforms can mimic eToro's product offerings, or how long it might take for them to roll that out, even if they can. But in any case, these are undoubtedly exciting times for eToro, and for all the people behind it. It's a great success story so far, and we may just still be in the opening act. But as for this episode, listener, it's time for the curtain to fall. Thanks for being here. Coming up on the next episode is a chat with a real rising star among PIs, Ireland's own Robert Merck. So come along to hear two Paddies welling up with emotion as we talk about the old country and how Robert feels about his progress on eToro.
I'm only a year on the platform, and no matter what, I know I have a YouTube channel, I know I explain my ideas, and I know people can build confidence that way, but I don't have a public track record more than 12 months. So I'm extremely grateful that people, take a leap of faith and trust that I'll be able to allocate their capital.
We talk dogs in football shirts, the World Cup of PIs, and touch on unexpectedly intimate subjects. Until next time we meet at Copytraders Club, I wish you many happy returns. Obviously, anything you hear in this podcast is for entertainment only, not financial advice. Do your own research, should generate chit chat. We don't know your individual circumstances, etc., and so forth.